We come now to verse 37 of the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus in a conversation with a crowd, which obviously involves a certain degree of mixed opinions. Some are probably hostile to Jesus, some are probably fully convinced that he is indeed what he's claimed to be, and there's probably some folks who are out in the middle who are kind of tentative in their commitments, and we hear a little or see a little bit of the evidence of that as this conversation unfolds. Jesus has told them that if they are going to abide in him, continue in him, they'll know the truth. The truth will make them free, and you get a response from some that they've never been enslaved to anyone. And Jesus says that the kind of slavery that he's speaking of goes a lot deeper. It's that slavery that a person has when they are a slave of sin. And Jesus again asserts to them that if he sets them free at that level, then they will truly be free. They've, of course, claimed that their freedom is based on their status as descendants of Abraham. And Jesus now returns to that point as we come to verse 37, oida. This is the first person singular, perfect active indicative from ado, I know or I see. So Jesus asserting here with a certain degree of force, I knew and continue to know. Hoti, conjunction, that, sperma, the seed, Abram, genitive case of Abraham, esta, you are, this is second person plural, present active indicative of a, me, I am, so I know that you are seed of Abraham. Jesus, of course, acknowledging the obvious point that these people claim to be Jews, and as such they were descendants physically, biologically from Abraham. And yet he introduces here a rather interesting dissonant point, Allah, the strong conjunction, zeteta, from zeteo, I seek. This is the second person plural, present active indicative. You seek me, putting up front to add a little bit of emphasis, and then the infinitive of akpateno, I kill. This is apoktenai, aorist infinitive, you seek to kill me. So I know you're seed of Abraham on the one hand, biologically, by some kind of physical descent from a kind of family tree, you might be able to claim that you are the descendants of Abraham. But then in stark contrast to that, you're seeking to do something that Abraham would never countenance, implying, as something that he'll say a little bit later, that even though they may be biological descendants of Abraham, they're not really his descendants when it comes to the level that really matters. And the evidence of this is continuing here, hoti. In this case it means because. Ho logos, the word, the of me word. This is emphatic, so the word that is of me. And then u kore, from koreo, literally means to either make space, I make space, or maybe to progress, implying kind of progressing in the sense of making space. In this case, it's the third person singular present active indicative, so the word of me does not make space, does not progress in humin, in you. So you claim to be Abraham's seed, and in some sense you are, but the fact that you are not behaving as Abraham would indicates that the word that I'm speaking to you is not making any progress in you. Again, we have an impression that Jesus is addressing himself to a broader company of people here than simply those who earlier were said to be those who believed in him, that there are still those in the crowd who are interacting with him at a much more adversarial level, and probably that's the particular class of people that he's addressing himself to here.